I am Jess Condit, Senior Reporter for Engadget.com. And who do I have with me today? Please introduce yourselves.
I'm Alex Rushdie, Creative Director for Runbow.
I'm Dave Proctor, Producer and Audio Director for Runbow.
Well, tell me, what is Runbow, and what studio are you guys with as well?
We are with 13 AM Games. Runbow is the first 9-player local party platformer action game for the Wii U, or anything, ever, as far as we know.
Wii U has this capability that I don't think the other consoles really have, to get 9 players on a single system locally.
Yep.
So is that kind of why you guys went with Wii U?
Yeah, I mean, it was that, though actually, like, before we even thought about bringing it to Wii U, we built it for PC in a game jam, and it was a real pleasure plugging in like 8 controllers into a PC and cramming people on a keyboard.
Whatever was around the room, you know, like a Mortal Kombat fight stick and 3 Logitech controllers and 2 people on the keyboard. And
Great. Oh, 2 on the keyboard?
Yeah, we got like WASD in the arrows, like everything, just like a big, huge cloud of people around the computer.
And I was working on a project at the time with a Wii U dev kit, and you know, like, you look at a lot of local multiplayer games and they seem to really be popular and really shine kind of on Wii U. I think that, you know, at most parties I go to that have a gaming machine out, it's usually like Smash Bros. Or Mario Kart or something like that. So we kind of thought that it was a good fit for Wii U.
Nobody's like getting a dinner party. Let's all play Spec Ops The Line.
That's never happened to me, that's for sure. Can you talk a little bit about working with Nintendo specifically? Like, are they helpful? Are they pretty transparent with what's going on? What kind of support are they really giving you?
This kind of sums up how they've been treating us. They wanted to, or we wanted to introduce some guest characters into the game, because there's a lot of stuff on Wii U that we really enjoy, and we wanted to draw attention to other sort of indie developers on the Wii U, and we wanted it to be like a community project, like a community game, because it's a big party game. Like, we wanted to open up the party to other developers and other games that we love. And we said this to Nintendo, and they were like, yeah, sure, let me just like go through the Rolodex. And they gave us the addresses and introductions to like 14 amazing companies that, you know, they went above and beyond. And they follow up with everyone. I don't even know how many they actually pitched to, but you know, everyone was really super into it with their guidance. It was really great.
We basically sent them like a wish list of like, these are the games that we really like.
Yeah.
And we don't know any of these people, and they're like, yeah, don't worry, we'll handle it. And they handled it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then they were right from the get-go. They were supportive of bringing us to Indiecade, and then again to GDC, and then to E3 as well. Like,
they even the people working in business and marketing and all that kind of stuff. Everyone at Nintendo really knows games. Which is really nice and really refreshing. The fact that like everyone, you know, they really know games.
They know it's fun.
They know it's fun.
So are you guys worried at all about like actual sales number once this launches on the Wii U? Obviously, we know the Wii U isn't the most popular console in terms of sales number. So are you guys at all concerned that it won't sell enough to keep the studio running, or what are you looking at there?
I think like anyone that tells you that they're not concerned about the potential revenue of their game is a total. I have confidence. I feel good. Like, yes, it's not the highest sales, but it's not so far off of the Xbox One that it's like, you know, drowning. And the fan base is so rabid, which I really like. Like, they have a really good. I've listened to some talks and some numbers. They have a really good install base for the eShop and for digital titles and stuff like that. I think the PS4 one is maybe as good or a bit better, and then I think Xbox One is below it. I don't remember specifically, but what I'm saying is like the attachment rate to indie titles on the eShop is pretty strong.
Yeah, they when Wii U owners like a game, they really like a game. Like, you know, if it's like, as far as I'm concerned, Runbow, you know, you look at the aesthetic of the game, you look at the type of game that it is, and the only real place where those kind of games are popular right now is on Wii U. So, you know, so far response has been really good. People seem really excited about the game. We released a demo, and for like a week, only a week, during the E3, and that did really well for us. Like as far as numbers go, we were really happy with that. And yeah, when if you look at a game like Shovel Knight, which was only on Nintendo until like almost like a year or something.
Nintendo and Steam sometimes.
Nintendo and Steam, yeah. Like it sold equally across those 3 platforms, and it sold a lot.
If we can do what Shovel Knight did in its first month, then we'll be very, very happy. Like, and that's only with the Wii U. We also made a game for like Nintendo fans. Like, that's what we grew up playing. You know, I was gonna say cuddling around the couch, but I meant to say huddling around the couch.
No.
Huddling around the couch.
Here comes out. Welcome to Sam Games.
You know.
That's fine. You guys are in crunch time. We understand. Yeah. Well, no, that makes sense. Like, we actually, Engadget recently ran this article about how we actually love the Wii U. 3 of our editorial...
I read that, and I really enjoyed that piece.
Yeah, I mean, thanks. I mean, that was just us thinking about the Wii U and how much we actually play it compared to our other consoles. You know, Xbox for me is the Netflix and Twitch machine, PS4 is the Towerfall machine, and Wii U is my actual gaming machine.
It's the one that I have like used the most as well.
Yeah.
This was an article that came up when you and I were talking in the kitchen the other day.
Yeah.
And you compared it to the GameCube, which I love, because like people that grew up playing Nintendo, like we did, the GameCube was their console roughly around the time that they went off to college, and it was like the console that helped you become an adult, like while still having a game machine. And this is now you are a shiftless 20-something, and this is here for you, you know, and that is kind of that's actually how all of us feel on the inside in this company, so that works out really well.
So for you guys, what are the strengths of the Wii U, and what are its weaknesses, if any?
I think the strengths of the Wii U come from the culture around it. You know, like the type of players.
Yeah.
I think that the player base on Wii U, they have they're a little picky. They have a really fine taste for, like, you know, this jump has to be perfect, because I played every Mario game and I know what a good jump is like. So if you don't give me a good jump, I'm not going to touch your game. So, like, I really appreciate that. I think that's really cool.
And I think, I mean, it's not fair to say that 1080p was that big of a challenge. We also had to optimize the hell out of our game to get there. That optimization was a pain in the ass. But you know, there are technical limitations, as there will be with anything. Conveniently for us, the kind of games that we want to make aren't very technically heavy, you know, in as much as they're not gray and brown. They are also like, we like 2D stuff. We like simpler games. I think the industry is getting into a habit of unsustainably large development, where like, oh yeah, of course the Wii U can't run Assassin's Creed Unity, because like
and nothing can run Assassin's Creed Unity.
Yeah,
Not very
you know,
well, yeah, it turns out.
It's a huge game that they have to make in a year, or, you know, the investors will chew their hands off, and they're like, oh, here, you know, and everyone's like, great, it's beautiful, it's only 900p, I'm so mad at you, and when they look at the Wii U and they say, oh, that couldn't run any of the top tier gaming consoles or games that PS4 could, like, that's, of course not. That exists, and that negativity will always be there, and it just depends on what people want out of their games. And like, we just want to make some fun.
I also think a really big strength of the Wii U that I don't hear people talk about a lot is the fact that it's compatible with all the old controllers that you had for your Wii.
Yes.
Because a lot of people, one of the reasons that Runbow is going to be on Wii U as well is that, generally speaking, if you own a Wii U, you probably owned a Wii, or you had a friend who owned a Wii, or whatever it is. So like, if you're like, hey, I want to get 9 players in my house playing this game, you don't have to go and buy, you know, 8 $60 controllers. You probably already have them, and you can use the nunchuck. You know, like it's as far as like that kind of barrier for entry, just due to cost of number of controllers, which is big. Like, people seem to forget that, you know, like, I've only got 1 controller for my PS4. If I want to get another, I have to drop like $70 here in Canada. You know, that is actually, that's one of like the fundamental aspects of what makes Runbow work on Wii U.
One final question, and this is kind of directed at the industry at large. Nintendo, as well as Sony, Microsoft, even EA, or any of these major companies in gaming. If you could ask these companies for one thing in terms of how they approach indies, or maybe even a few things or a bigger idea, what would you ask these companies, or what would you want them to do to help facilitate indie development?
You want to go first?
I did. This is more like an ideological big sweep. And it goes back to my statement about the like unsustainably large development. Don't do that for like 2 years. Like, make a smaller game. Show people that there's value in a huge company making a $15 to $20 game, and show them that it's not price and it's not development time and budget that defines fun or quality of experience. You know, like, actually demonstrate to the people that may not go out of their way, like, to try indie games. Demonstrate to them that they can have fun for $15, you know, or that, or on the other side, it's not about getting some sort of monetary value for hours played in your game. It's about quality of experience. That would be my. I don't know how you do that, but like that would be my request.
That's great. Yeah.
That's great.
I just. There's a song that I once heard, like, this is my grown-up Christmas wish. That's what just happened in my brain.
You're the worst.
Yeah. Are you gonna sing? You can sing if you want.
I'll record it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Send it back.
I don't know what I would ask. I also don't know, like, if what I would ask is actually not being done. Like, you know, I might think something and it's secretly being done, just because these companies kind of aren't always open books. But I almost feel like we're getting to the point where a lot of these indie companies are getting pretty big. Like, not to toot our own horn, but like Runbow isn't a small game. Like, we spent almost a year and a half ish, you know, working on it. And we wanted to pack a lot into it so that it doesn't feel like this is a little indie game. We really want to give people like a lot of bang for their buck. So almost like for a lot of these indies that are becoming bigger and bigger, the word indie is actually kind of damaging in a way. Like, there's a certain baggage that comes with it. As much as I'm proud to say, like, I'm an indie developer, and like our game is proud to say that it's an indie game, there's a certain baggage with that, and there's for some reason a difference between, like, I don't know, Platinum Games is technically an indie studio, right?
Correct.
But no one calls them an indie studio, right? So that kind of the line between, because there used to be AA studios and those don't really exist anymore. So now it's just like indie and AAA, and like the gap is slowly being filled by bigger indies. And I don't know. I feel like we need another way to describe those kinds of experiences.
Yeah.
It's almost like the opposite of what happens in the music industry, where like alternative comes up, and that's the alternative to everything in the mainstream, and then alternative is all that everybody hears, and they still use the word alternative. And then indie came up because they were independent bands, and now everything is now it's sound, and that, you know, in our industry, it's more like if you're not Ubisoft, you're an indie. You know, like that's the thing. But you know, and there's a weird damning middle ground that no one identifies.
Yeah, and that, I mean, that's a constantly evolving aspect of our industry right now. Like, this is just, we're seeing this new kind of AA kind of emerge out of these, you know, indie studios, what used to be indie and now are just people making games. Like, these are just people making games, from AAA to indie. So, yeah, I absolutely see where you guys are coming from.